I want to bring your attention to the experience of emptiness. Emptiness is part of our human condition, and at some point in our lives, we will experience it. And our perception of emptiness is particularly important in the way that we flow and surrender to this experience. And I have some points here that I've discovered that I really want to share with you that's going to really help you when you are experiencing that phase of emptiness. I just want to highlight, for some of us, we may refer to emptiness as the dark night of the soul. Some may refer to it as depression, loneliness, darkness, and confusion. And I want to bring your attention to the fact that emptiness is part of the process of expansion. In order to expand, there is a phase of death where we're shedding the old and stepping into the new, into our rebirth. So within our evolution, there is a constant cycle of death and rebirth. And this experience is facilitated by our higher self and the universe. So God, source, however you refer to it. And our higher self and the universe are co-creating in the unconscious realms of ourself. Our higher self is always many steps ahead of us, and it's up to our conscious mind, our conscious self, our physical self to really catch up to that and accept it. And the reason why expansion can be so intense and when it can get really messy is because in the phase of shedding, we become unfamiliar to ourselves. We start to notice something doesn't feel right, something feels a bit different, and we're becoming conscious that something is changing. Now, many of us resist change. Change is quite uncomfortable for us, and change can be quite confusing, and sometimes it's difficult to accept that change is happening or when to even know that change is happening. Our resistance and our fear towards this change is what keeps us stuck. It builds the anxiety, the depression, the loneliness, the confusion, and that emptiness keeps getting darker and darker and heavier. The reason for this video is to really bring your attention to a new perspective of emptiness. So just imagine that you are experiencing emptiness and you're only focusing on the dark. You're only focusing on the fear of that scariness of emptiness. And this is when you become unbalanced, because a higher perspective needs to be integrated in order to balance this dark phase with the light, so the darkness does not become as heavy. So there is light within this darkness. There is light within this emptiness. There is beauty to emptiness. Why? Because emptiness is an opportunity. It is an opportunity for newness, for renewal and transformation. Because when you're feeling empty, it means that something is ready to be filled and poured within you. Our higher self and the universe is creating space within our mind, within our body and our soul for new things to come through. And what are these new things? It can be new awareness, new wisdom, new creative ideas, new relationships, new friendships. Something is ready to be filled. So I want you to remember, when you are experiencing that emptiness, firstly understand that you are in a phase of expansion. And when that emptiness comes through, be still. We must accept our darker phases. So be still, reorganize your schedule so you can slow things down, so that you can become the observer. Tune into what your higher self and the universe is facilitating and accept the change by knowing that this is happening for your highest and greatest good. For me recently, every time I feel empty, I've come to really surrender, and literally with a day in pointing out that I feel empty, something new will come in. I now trust that there is so much beauty in emptiness. And I understand that emptiness is such a huge concern for many of us. No one wants to feel that. It is uncomfortable. I understand that, I acknowledge that. But if we just shift our perspective and understand that something beautiful is coming in this dark, in this void moment, you'll start to feel empowered in this phase. You'll start to feel excited. You'll feel this sense of trust. So just remember, emptiness is a time to be still. It is a time of acceptance and surrender. And it is a time of witnessing what is coming towards you.